Hey YouTube, it's Carly. I'm 3 weeks post-op, so I figured I would come in and do a quick checkup. I had my 2-week post-op appointment with my surgeon last week. It went really well. My incisions are healing nicely. Most of the issues that I'm still having, like the lump in my throat from intubation and stuff like that, he said should be resolved. Not like super quick, but it's a healing thing. And in a couple weeks, I probably won't even realize they're there. I was down 9 pounds from my liquid diet, and I've lost another 15 pounds since then. So at least for the first 2 weeks, I was losing about a pound a day. So that puts me at 24 pounds lost total, which I mean is really exciting. This is probably the first time I've been in the 240s in like years. Highest weight ever was 305, and I think my lowest weight that I remember was like 212. It dipped a little below that when I had really bad pneumonia one year, but that's what I'm calling my lowest weight ever. So we'll see what happens. This is a really weird angle. Okay, this is slightly better. Sorry, I'm really bad at this. Okay, so 3 weeks, I'm on pureed diet. I've been on purees for about a week. It is both worse and better than liquids, and I'll tell you why. So with liquids, I had really not a ton of options, and I basically ate a lot of soup. Puree, there's more options like certain vegetables that are mashed and things like that. But I historically have an issue with the consistency of purees. It was started happening when I was a kid. I don't like putting beside like rice or tapioca. Things that are too thick are really hard for me. And then when I was in school, I was a dietetics major. And so we spend a lot of time focusing on pureed diets or different stages of diets because of things like dysphagia, or people with oral cancers or who are going through chemotherapy. And one of the things we did was we would test out pureed foods in our labs and different thicknesses of pureed foods. And guess what I tried to opt out of as much as possible. So yeah, it's great having more options. But it's terrible when it's a consistency you normally don't handle. So what do I eat? Mashed potatoes has been a big one. Fun fact, mashed potatoes every day is great. Mashed potatoes 3 times a day is terrible. I'm kind of sick of mashed potatoes, which is good because I didn't want to include it in my final diet anyways. But yeah, really over mashed potatoes. Any like super soft cheese, like goat cheese, because I can just kind of like smush it up and get it right. Meat has been weird. I've been able to have like pureed soups and kind of chili, but like crab salad, nope. Egg salad, nope. Casserole style or stew style things that are pureed, nope. I can't. Refried beans, which are super popular, nope. And I don't even know if it's my pouch that doesn't like it or if I literally am like putting it in my mouth and being like, ricotta bake is great. So for anybody who isn't a bariatric patient or hasn't been reading bariatric websites, forums, whatever, something that's really popular is a ricotta bake. And it basically is lasagna without the noodles. So it's like fat-free ricotta cheese with eggs and seasoning. I put Parmesan and a little bit of mozzarella in mine, and then you bake it with tomato sauce and more cheese. So literally inside of lasagna, no noodles. And that's fantastic, and my body really likes it, which is good because that means I can get protein. It's funny though how things pop up and you don't even realize, like, you know you're eating less and you know you're losing weight, but you don't even really realize it until you eat with other people. And because I eat like 4 to 6 times a day, my meal times don't match up with anybody who's here. They match up with my vitamins, but not with anything else. So my daughter was here yesterday, and she's 11, and I fed her because you're kind of supposed to feed kids. But she had ricotta bake, and she's a really picky eater, and I was like, okay, well, I'll heat some up for you, and if you don't like it, we'll figure something else out. And this time I made the ricotta bake in like a 9-inch cake pan. And I gave her, I think, like a 1/5 of the pan. I had maybe a 1/10 or a 15th of the pan missing from the 3 times I've eaten it. But I gave her a piece. She ate it. She got seconds. And when I came back, half the pan was gone. So the reason why I think this is hysterical is because in the time that it took her to eat a half of a pan of ricotta bake, I ate 4 tablespoons of chili. And the half pan that she ate was probably like 6 or 7 meals for me. I was stuffed, she wasn't. And I was like, God, that's really weird. She's eating a lot. And I'm like, right, she has a normal stomach and is like a growing child. So yeah, frame of references are really funny. What else? Oh, so I don't know how frequently I'll be making these videos. I'd like to think that I'll have stuff to say, but if I don't, there's not really a point in sitting here and just being like, rah, 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 rah. But I'm not going to weigh myself all the time. So I have a history with binge eating disorder. I had it for 20 years. I'm 34 now, and it was resolved years before I had bariatric surgery. But I don't like doing things that are triggery. And since the number on a scale, 1 is just a number, and 2 is dependent on a lot of things like hormone fluctuation and fluid fluctuation and barometric pressure and where you are in your cycle if you're a girl and just different things like that, it seems pointless to weigh myself every day when the number is going to fluctuate every day anyway, and even from hour to hour. So instead of freaking out because the number suddenly gets high or crazy drops or whatever, I'm probably just going to weigh myself a couple of times a month just to see where I am, or maybe even once a month, because it's not worth the mental headspace game. So I don't think that's something a lot of bariatric patients do, but I have different circumstances. So I'm not going to weigh myself all the time. I'm trying to think if there was something else. Oh, the other thing is be really careful with listening to your body. So like I said before, I have a background in dietetics. And so I knew a fair amount from the medical provider side of bariatric surgery before I was a bariatric patient. I advanced to pureed foods a day early, and I don't feel bad about it because 1, I got my period, and whether it's TMI or not, having your period 2 weeks after stomach surgery freaking sucks. Like, it's terrible. It's actually probably the most pain I've been in since getting out of the hospital. But I was getting really sick, and no matter, not physically sick, but like fatigued and worn down and hard to get out of bed and whatever. But no matter what I tried to eat, I couldn't. And it just, my body didn't want anything. And so my first reaction was, I need more protein and I probably need iron. And so I advanced the pureed a day early. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I am not a registered dietitian. 1, a 24-hour period won't make a huge difference. And 2, if my body wasn't ready, I wouldn't be able to handle it. And I did. Now, this was literally the day before I was cleared. So when I told my dietitian, he was fine with it. He had no issues with it. But if you're going to do stuff like that and you're going to listen to your body or listen to what you think your body's cueing you on, please either call your medical provider first or tell them. I didn't call first because I know my registered dietitian and he knows my background and he's given me a little more leniency than some patients get. But I'm not going to hide stuff. So I highly recommend not hiding things either. If you do have good suggestions for pureed level food that isn't technically pureed and gross, let me know. And shout out to Bypass to Aline or Lynn, who's my first subscriber. She left a great comment on my last video, and she's super sweet. Her videos are really cool. I think she's about 10 weeks post-surgery now too, so it's really nice to be able to link up with somebody who is later in the process but still early in the process and who's had bypass. Most people I know have actually had the sleeve, so our experiences are going to be different, and I'm older than most of the people I know. They've mostly had it in their 20s. I'm in my mid-30s. I'm just calling it early 30s. But yeah, shout out to Lynn, and I will see you guys at some point sometime soon-ish. If there's anything that anybody has any questions about or is curious about, let me know. I'm open to it. Have a great day.